Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hello, it's Jill, and I'm back with Randy Swaim. We are so excited he's here again, and I want to give him as much time as possible. I know a lot of times we get caught up talking before the show. It's hysterical, and I love him, and I love what we're talking about, and all his energy and his focus on helping so many. Again, coachingforrelevance.com is the website, and we have some great stories. We're going to talk about the Rising Star program. There's one of the many things that he does as an author, as a coach, and I want to hear some good stories and impacts of positive impacts you're making on people. So, overview to start, to say hello for new timers out there. Would you mind giving us a little insight as to who you are and what you do, Mr. Randy?
Okay. I'm Randy Swaim. Definitely honored to be a friend and colleague with Jill for a couple of years now, for sure. And I'm Randy Swaim. I'm Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach, and I'm also a certified master neuroplastician with the Institute for Organizational Neuroscience in Europe, and some friends and colleagues over there. But my background in my history and my life story has been focused in aviation, and it's been both military flying, but also flying civilian jets, but on a military contract. So it's been a lot of military, and guess what? A lot of that comes to be because I've got a program that is with Coaching for Relevance is my company, and you see it on the little thing there. But I've got a something that's trademarked for me out of Washington called organizational maneuverability, and it's being able to really get your people to succeed and to be successful and to become amazing when not everything is all rote academic. And so these stories are a little bit about that when you talk about leadership and certain aspects about leadership. And this will be just a unique thing. It's not going to be academic. It'll be a couple of stories that actually were within the last 24 hours. They both happened yesterday. And so I'll share those just as an insight, as something that leaders want to have a view of and have a thought of.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm excited. Also want to point out you have, a YouTube channel, your website. You have a book. You have a movie coming out. Your PhD work, your pilot's license. There's a lot that you do. But one of the programs that you're most, excited about, of course, is helping, the rising stars out there, right?
Well, it's helping people.
Yeah.
My vision in my company and what I do and my life is bringing freedom to potential. And that's the title of my autobiography, Bring Freedom to Potential. Mm-hmm. And the subtitle is a true story of overcoming and soaring above the storms in life, kind of thing. And that's what I seek to bring with all people that I connect with when I see they need some of that. And it's a key part of me. Like you said, it's coaching for relevance, but that's what I'm all about. That's what this vision is all about. And I've had, just as a humor, I've had people ask me if and when I'm going to retire, and I look at them and I say, when I take my last breath, because you know what? I'm going to keep doing that until I run through the tape.
I love it. My goodness. All right, Randy, but what else did you want to share with everyone today?
Okay, so the story is, what it'll be? It'll be just two examples of something that when you're working with your team, or actually really when you're working with your rising stars also, it'll be one picture that comes from a rising star thing and one picture that comes from a professional level of adult kind of thing. But when you're working with your team, it's not just about going through rote academic things and pointing fingers at people and telling them and dictating to them and then trying to give yourself a pat on the back when it goes well. That's not true leadership. That's kind of dictatorial and narcissistic. But true leaders help build it within their people so that their people are becoming amazing in what you're trying to accomplish and everything. And that's kind of a little bit of a picture of these two stories. And I'll just kind of go ahead when you're ready, and I'll share each one with you. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it'll give a picture of this.
Bring it
and then
on.
Then we can entertain any questions that come up or whatever. So, but the first one, I'll give you I'll give you a picture of this because this one deals with the rising stars, and it sort of blew me away because the aviation organization that I work with over at DFW Airport, pretty much every year, um, what they do around Christmas time is they have sort of a Christmas party for families and youth and all this. But there's some times where what they did is when the families were there and their youth was there, they allowed an opportunity for their youth to go up into a flight simulator of a jet airplane. And you didn't come up on motion and you didn't do a lot of flying with it or anything like that, but you got a chance to help them sense it and see it and get some familiarity with it and things of that nature. And they always had somebody that was willing to go up. And of course, I raise my hand because I'm always one that's willing to do that, to actually take them in the simulator and kind of talk to them and answer any questions they have and all of that kind of stuff. Well, what was interesting is yesterday I was sitting there at kind of a table up in the operations area, and I was just eating some salad for my lunch, kind of thing. And there was one gentleman, and I know who he is. We see each other every now and then, but he's like a scheduler, customer service person, and things like that works in that area. And every time we see each other, it's always like, hey, how's it going, and all that sort of stuff. But this time he was going over to his desk, and all of a sudden he stopped and he went and he turned and he started walking my direction. And as he did, he kind of motioned his hand. I could tell he wanted something, and he came over and he sat down right next to me. He said, "Randy, you mind if I share something?" I said, "No, what?" And he said, "You remember?" And this is what he said. He said, "Remember 2 years ago, you were the one that took my daughter into the flight simulator?" And I was there. I said, "Yeah, I remember it. I don't remember all the details, but I remember that we did that." And he said, "I just have to share something with you." And I said, "What's that?" And he looked at me and he said, "I want you to understand that it was so incredible the way you interacted with her and the way that you sort of coached her and sort of talked to her and taught her a little bit and things of that nature and helped her get a sense of that stuff." He said, "The way you did that was just simply amazing." And in fact, he said a day or two after that, somebody else had got in, and he said, and that person, you could tell that person didn't even want to be there. And he said, "Randy, you are so different. You are so awesome on that." But he said, "I got to share something with you." And I said, "What's that?" And I said, "I was amazed as her father at how she had grown and developed over the last year or two. And I want you to understand that she wants to go into aviation. And you know what? She's wanting to be accepted into the Naval Academy." And I just looked at him and I kind of went, "Man, you got my compliments." I said, "That's
Yeah.
awesome." And I told him, I said, "You know what? In today's world, she can become a fighter pilot if she wants to, go up and fly fighters and stuff like that, kind of thing." And I said, "Do me a favor." And he said, "What?" And I said, "When you talk to her, just tell her she has my compliments on what she wants." Because I said, that's a real dream. There's some things she wants to think about it. And I told him, I said, if you and your wife and your daughter want to get together with me sometime and just, have dinner at a restaurant or for a Coke or something and just chat about it and just talk about going forward with it and everything, I said, you just give me a call and let me know.
Oh,
And
my
he
goodness.
said, "Cool. That sounds good."
I'm
But
sure
he said,
they're
"I
going
want
to
you
be
to understand what
ecstatic.
she experienced was so amazing, and I'm amazed at what she's envisioning and what she's wanting to do with this now. And a lot of that came from what you did 2 years ago." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that. Thanks." And so it's just one example of that. And I'll share the other example very quickly too, because guess what? Even when you're working with your team and you're all adults,
Yeah.
guess what? You can do the same thing and have the same impact.
Impact. Yeah.
And the second thing of this happened yesterday also, kind of thing. And what it was I was teaching ground school, which is basically the classroom part of the recurrent training for becoming recurrent in a particular type of jet airplane and stuff. And And I was sort of teaching them on that. You go over the systems and you go over the checklist and aspects of it and everything, but I do it a little bit different than most people do it because I bring a lot of the operational understanding to it and all that. And what was amazing is this guy there's he said this, and I didn't initiate it. I didn't try to initiate the conversation to do it. He did, but he said, "Randy, I just got to share something." I said, "What's that?" And he said, "You're the person I want to work with every time I come here." And I said,
Oh,
"Really?" He said, "Because you're very different on how you bring the facts and the knowledge and the awareness." And I didn't say this to him, but what it is, it's the coaching facilitative style and being aware of that, but also being aware of the neuroscience and how the brain really works. And are you connecting with people in such a way that their brain really becomes successful and stuff in making decisions and stuff? And so I just shared with him. I said, "Well, I'm humbled by that." He said, "I got to tell you," I said, "you're the person I like to work with every time I come here for training." And I said, and that doesn't mean it's a slam on anybody else, but it's just a different experience in the way he does it. And he said, it's just so amazing to me at the value that I get and how I begin to see things and understand things and experience things above and beyond just a rote academic thing. And I said, well, thank you. I said, I appreciate that because I said, that is what I try to do. And it was just kind of amazing because he started talking a little bit more about that, and then he said, and let me ask you something. He said, uh, "Do I remember that your autobiography is published on Amazon now?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "I want to buy it," and he said, uh, and so I gave him a picture of it, and I told him how I can go to my website and go purchase it and everything like that. But the bottom line is he got a lot of value in understanding the operational thinking, the processing, the clarity of the awareness of the whys of the real applications of the decisions you have to make. And that's something that he was sort of gaining in. But what was amazing for me is that both of the reactions that those two people gave me, and they were both yesterday, shared the same thing, you know. And the subtle thing and the simple thing that I want to kind of share out with people out there is when you're talking about leadership, it's not just about calling attention to yourself. It's not just about bragging about the fact because they did what you told them to do and somehow it made a positive reaction or positive results or whatever, like that kind of thing. That's not being a leader. Being a leader is when you connect with your people in such a way that they become better. They become more aware. They become to a certain point where they can make decisions in such a way that even when the thing is not all rote academic, they can still be successful. And that's kind of one thing that this guy was talking about. But if you think about it, that's also what that young lady, that young girl, brought out as her whole vision right now is with getting accepted into the Naval Academy. And her dad was telling me, he said, "Man," I said, "I would have never thought that, but boy, it's amazing." And so it's just something to think about that when you're talking about being a true leader, it's not just about pointing fingers, telling people what to do, telling them they better just obey what you said or, whatever. It's connecting with them in such a way that they begin to believe, they begin to process, they begin to understand, and be more clear on sometimes when factors come on scene that are kind of restricting them or not, getting in the way of it. And what are they going to do? When you're talking about a challenging environment, it's that doesn't happen just because you tell them, well, just go around it this way and go that way. That's not what a leader does. What a leader does is develops their people so that when those unique factors come on scene, they can look at it and they can see what's necessary and what they need to do, and be able to make those choices, but also work together with the team in a synergistic way where the team reaches radical successes. And not just because somebody told somebody something, but because the team saw all that and became amazing. But it was just two pictures that happened yesterday. And I just thought, you know what? I may need to share this, not to call attention, but it's a good example of what true leadership is when you're talking about really bringing some incredible results and some incredible potential to the people that you're leading, to your organization, to what you're trying to accomplish, and to getting there. And guess what? In half the times, it's not just meeting your goals, but it's reaching results that are way beyond your goals, that are even further down the road than you even imagined. And everybody in your, who knows, maybe everybody in your organization is looking at you and going, wow, your team is amazing. Wow. Kind of thing. And that's leadership. And that's, if your only focus is on yourself, you're not getting the job done. But the bottom line is those are just two pictures of sort of that one aspect of true leadership, and then really making that happen. So, and what makes you different? What makes you something that is a real benefit to your team, and all that. So it's just something to think about.
Awesome. Great story. I can't wait for it. They're definitely going to call. You're going to be going out to lunch soon, I'm sure, right? That's amazing. Really.
We'll see.
I'm sure.
Like
what
I said,
an inspiration.
I see the father. Yeah, the father that talked about it. I work with him, so I sort of pass him in the halls every couple of days and stuff like that. But the other guy is a client. He comes in about twice a year. So, but he always likes to work with me when he comes in, because it's a little bit of a different approach, because it brings that neuroscience aspect of understanding the processing of the frontal lobe, and not just throwing out rote academic things, but getting the processing going where you see what's really there, and also using that coaching and sort of facilitative style to really develop it in others. And he appreciates that aspect of it, and really commended that yesterday in a big way.
Thank you for that.
And so it was that those two stories came up out there, and that was all yesterday. So I just found it sort of interesting, because it's a good picture of kind of what you're talking about with true leadership, because leadership's not just dictating. It's not just sitting in your chair and telling them what to do and blaming everything if it doesn't work, or blaming your people if it doesn't work. That's not leadership. Leadership has this aspect of really growing and developing your team so that amazing things can happen that make everybody else go, wow, kind of thing. And, sometimes make yourself go, wow,
and awe.
Because in a sense, that's what the father was. Yeah, and in one sense, that's sort of what the father was doing when he was talking about his daughter looking to go to the Naval Academy and get into flying for the military. And I just said, hey, man, she has my compliments. I said, when you talk to her, tell her she has my highest compliments from me. So, yeah, it's two little pictures of that other aspect of leadership that a lot of people don't realize. It's not just about you making people just like you. It's about you building your peoples and growing and developing them so that amazing things can happen. And so it's just, like I say, it's just that sort of other side of leadership that sometimes people don't truly understand.
Well, thank you for that. And I know you want to share another story, but we just have to remind everyone how we reach out to you. Coachingforrelevance.com. Is that the best form, Randy?
Yeah, basically coachingforrelevance.com. And if you go to the homepage of my website, right at the bottom of it, it has my email, and it has my phone number where somebody can call, leave a message if they want, kind of thing. And also I'd throw this out, and I think you know this, Jill, but when you go to the homepage, about 2 to 3 seconds after you're there, a banner comes up about the autobiography, and right down underneath the autobiography, and this is what I told the client yesterday when he was wanting to go purchase it. Right underneath the picture, there's a link, and if you click on that link, it takes you right to the Amazon page where you can purchase the book if you want. But it's just golly geez, something to think about. But yeah, it's coachingforrelevance.com is the website, and you can see some links on there about professional leadership. Also, like you said, rising stars and all this. There's some aspects about all of that involved in this. So just something that is a way that people can get in touch and just have a conversation. And I think you've heard me say this before, but I don't do a lot of sales pitches. What I do is I build relationships. I get to know people. Now, if somebody has a need and they want to kind of go there, yeah, we'll go there.
Awesome.
But I don't just simply do sales pitches. I connect with people. I get to know them, and I build relationships. That's so if anybody does go to my website and contact me, you don't have to be panicky or anything like that. So.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you for that. We got 4 minutes left here, Randy. What else did you want to share with us?
Well, that's just about it. And the big thing is that I'll share is just simply this, that when you're talking about you or your team or your organization or your family or whatever, guess what? When you think about being successful going forward into the next 10 years or whatever, guess what? You got to realize that it's not just the old rote academic thing where I'm just going to sit here and tell you what to do and you better do what I tell you what to do kind of thing. That is not being a leader. Being a leader is when your people, and in fact, yourself, is different a few years down the road from what you've been. And it's how are you growing? And, you think about it. If you think that you've reached your best and you're going to just do that for the next 20 years of your life, guess what? You don't leave the same impact. What I tell people is, like I said, when people ask me if I'm going to retire, and I say when I take my last breath, because I'm going to run through the tape. And you know what? You keep growing through the tape. And it's because when you reached a certain thing that you think you were supposed to do, guess what? If you keep growing, you can even exceed that and go way more. And that's just what a lot of people don't think about. And one of the ways that you get your teams to do that and your youth to do that is when they see you modeling that. Mm-hmm. And that's another key aspect that relates to what we were talking about.
And in everything in life, as a parent, right? I think role modeling.
Yeah, it is.
Seeing is believing. Monkey see, monkey do. It's true.
There you go.
It's true.
There you go. And that's what I did for those two stories. What was amazing is what they experienced and saw and what in their minds seemed to be modeled.
Got it.
I didn't communicate that to them in words at all. And so just kind of interesting. But it's a key aspect of leadership that a lot of people sometimes don't understand.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for being here, for sharing this. And if we want to reach out, buy the book, we're going to go to coachingforrelevance.com or go to Amazon. You could just type your name and you see it there. And thank you again for the insight again. And always doing something for others. Is family good? Family's good?
Well, so far, yeah, they've overcome a couple of the sicknesses and stuff, and all that. But the great grandkids are just doing awesome.
Still can't believe it. Yeah, when you say I got great grandkids, I know.
Yeah, it's just they're amazing seeing what they're doing and everything. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Thank you so much, Randy. You have a fantastic day, and we'll chat again soon. Enjoy.
Sounds good. You do the same.
Thanks,
and I look forward to it, Jill.
Always. Bye-bye.
Ready to elevate your life? Randy Swaim, owner of Coaching for Relevance, offers personalized coaching to help you achieve your goals and unlock lasting success. With proven strategies, get the clarity, confidence, and skills to make your next big move. Call 817-880-4749 or visit coachingforrelevance.com to start your transformation today.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.